If I were to narrow down core strengthening exercises to just 5 exercises, these are the ones I would do. It is extremely important that when it comes to training core, that you understand that your core is responsible for resisting motion in 3 different planes. Those planes of motion are front to back, which is your sagittal plane, side to side, which is your frontal plane, and rotation, which is your transverse plane. If your core cannot resist motion through those 3 different planes, more than likely you're gonna end up injured. That is why these 5 exercises I have picked target all 3 planes. And if you stay till the end, I'm gonna show you how I implement these exercises into my daily workout routine. First exercise is what we call an army crawl plank. And yes, if you assume that we're gonna start an army crawl position, you are super smart. Okay, you're gonna bring one knee up to a 45-degree angle. Both elbow creases are gonna be about eye height. From here, you're gonna apply pressure to both forearms and both knees, and that's what's gonna be holding all of your weight as you lift your torso off of the ground. If this is already hard enough, you can just hold this for 30 seconds and do 3 rounds of that. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you're going to do the same exercise, but from there, you're going to make sure your pelvis stays tucked and you're going to reach out in front of you with the arm that is on the same side of the knee being forward. And you're going to go back and forth 6 to 8 times. If you want to make it even harder, you can just hold for 3 seconds, come back and do that 6 to 8 times. From the other side, bring the opposite knee up for a 45-degree angle. Make sure those elbow creases stay about eye height. Lift that pelvis off of the ground, tuck that pelvis, and hold. And reach out in front of you or hold for 3 seconds, whatever one you prefer. Just make sure it's a nice challenge. If you're not shaking, you're not doing it right. Second exercise is gonna be an extended plank. So just like the previous exercise, your elbow creases are gonna be right at eye height. You can overlap your hands here and you're gonna keep your feet together. Before you lift your pelvis off of the ground, tuck your pelvis and then lift. You should feel like you're shaking from this position. If it's still too easy, you can lift one foot. It's gonna make it extremely challenging and hold for 3 seconds, both sides, and do 6 of those. Or you can even just move up your arms a little bit more. Get ready for the shaking. Here it comes. I'm gonna have to really get used to this one. Tuck that pelvis and lift. Hold. As you can see, I'm shaking pretty good. This is one of my favorites. And then just move those arms out a little bit more until you can't hold for 30 seconds. Third exercise is what we call a plank roll. You're gonna do a plank position, but your arms will be parallel to each other. If you have a ball, great. If you don't worry about it. The ball's just gonna make it harder anyways. So you're gonna have your feet just wider than your hips, pelvis tucked. You're gonna place that ball on your back and you're gonna roll into a side plank. Make sure you're complete on the side of your feet and that your hips aren't sagging. Get your hips away from the ground, hold for 3 seconds. Then you're gonna roll back into a normal plank, keep that pelvis tucked, and then you're gonna switch arms. Grab that ball and roll into a plank. The goal is to do 6 of these without the ball falling off. If the ball falls off, that means that you're twisting your back and not using your core. So make sure that you keep that body in a nice solid position and no twisting through your back. Fourth exercise, we call this knee push. You're gonna be flat on your back, and you need to make sure that your neck and head stay out of this equation, so keep your head flat on the ground. You're gonna lift one leg at a time up to 90 degrees. From here, you're gonna try to push your knees away, but I don't want your legs to move. You need to keep them right where they're at. By doing that, you should automatically feel your core work. It's gonna look like this. You're just gonna apply pressure, try to push away, squeeze that core. You should feel a little bit of shaking happening, which is awesome. Hold for 5 seconds, go over the pressure, and then apply pressure again. After a second or 2, you're gonna do 6 to 8 of these. It's really important you don't feel your head lifting off of the ground and that you don't feel your knees moving away. If you feel that, you're gonna feel a lot in your hip flexors. Keep those knees up as high as you can, try to push away, and make sure your back isn't arching as well. Keep that core activated and only feel it in your stomach. If you're liking these exercises but want to know some exercises that you can do in the gym, hit that subscribe button because next week I'm going to be releasing a video on the best core exercises for a cable machine. Now, for the 5th exercise, you're going to be on your side, elbow is going to be underneath your shoulder, knees are going to be slightly out in front of you, and tuck your feet behind as well. From there, you're going to lift your hips up and then bring your hips forward. Drive that knee forward down at an angle. I don't want your knee coming up this way. Bring that knee down at an angle. Then as you kick back, you're going to sit, tap your butt on the ground, lift, and then bring that knee forward. You're gonna go back and forth 6 to 8 times. Make sure you just tap and pop right back up and hold this position even for a split second. When you're in this position, you should feel a deep burn in the side of your core and in the side of your hip. Enjoy that burn, really challenge yourself. Now that you know the exercises, this is how I implement them into my workout routine. I've had a lot of patients do the same thing and they noticed a massive difference with their workouts. Starting with the army crawl plank. I use this on my cardio days. Why? Because it wakes up the muscles I need for walking and running. The extended plank, I use that one on the days I'm doing a lot of overhead, so like military press. Why? Because it activates my core while I'm going overhead. The plank rolls, I'll do that on my chest days. It's warming up my shoulder, getting my chest to activate while using my core. The knee push, I'll use that when I have a big squat day. I'm actually pushing my knees, activating that core in a deep squat pattern just on my back. This running side plank, I'll use that when I'm doing a lot of single leg work like lunges, Bulgarian split squats. Why? Because if you think about it, you're actually on your side lunging, activating your hip and your core. So it's gonna wake up those muscles, making those lunges and Bulgarian split squats feel a lot easier. If you want more core exercises, I already have a couple videos. I'll put those down in the description. Check those out. If you have any questions for me, drop a comment. I'd love to help you. Until next time, keep moving and enjoy the rest of your day.